very good evening to you, and thank you so much for sticking to Y254 TV. I hope you've had a lovely evening. My name is Cheryl Blessing, and you are tuned in to the Power Talk Show. Now, we've been having numerous conversations that are meant to build you and give you a fresh perspective on life. So last week we were just assessing the value of setting goals and checking yourself to make sure that your yearly goals are going according to plan. And this week we have an interesting conversation that's a bit more light. We're talking about love versus simping. We all know there's this new term that has come about of mtu ana simp, ama when they're doing too much, they're considered to be simps in a relationship or in love or emotionally. So we want to distinguish these two things. What is love and what is simping? And I want to engage with you as well. I want you to go on our social media platforms at Y254 on all social platforms. We've asked you a question. How long should you be in a relationship? How long do you think it's right for you to be in a relationship? So let me just introduce the guest that we have today. We have Lois, who is a counseling psychologist. Karibu sana, Lois.
Asante.
It's so lovely to have you back here again.
Pleasure.
And it's such a pleasure too. And right next to Lois, we have Fabio Wanjohi, he's also not a guest for the first time. Karibu, Fabio.
Asante sana.
You've been well?
Yeah, I've been well.
Nice. I'm looking forward to this conversation because thank God we have both genders. You can both give us your perspectives and your personal experiences. And that's one thing I'm looking forward to. I think this is a very interesting conversation. So, wewe ukiwa nyumbani, enda on Y254 and tell us, what do you think is love and what do you think is simping? How long do you think it's okay for you to be in a relationship? Kuna watu wamedate for 10 years. Is that right? Or do you think relationships should be shorter? So I think to kickstart the conversation, let me start with the lady. Lois, could you define for us what you think love is?
I think for me, love is a strong affection between two individuals who are ready to care for each other and respect, and above all, have boundaries. Yeah.
So it's a deep emotion. It's something that...
It's mutual. It's not one-sided.
It's not one-sided.
Yeah.
But what if it is, though? Because there are situations where, let's say, you love someone, you genuinely love them, but they don't love you back. Because we've had those situations of unrequited love and, you know, situations like that. Will that still be considered love, or is it infatuation, or it's some other emotion?
No, I don't think that's love. Yeah.
So love has to be mutual.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Anytime.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fabio, from the male's perspective, because you know the males are the ones who really talk about simping. What would you consider simping? What would you define as simping?
Simping is, to me, according to my opinion, simping is basically seeking validation from other people. Not wanting to know about yourself, like your opinion, but seeking strong sense of opinion from other people. I think that is what I term as simping.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's like you're looking for external validation.
Yes.
It's not you're okay, you're content within yourself.
Yes.
Interesting. So I like the way we've started with this clear definitions.
Yeah.
And once again, I'd like to clarify. The question we've asked on social media is, how long is it okay to pursue someone to get into a relationship with you? So how long do you think it's okay? Do you considered simping or something like that? So when we get into the nitty-gritty of it, Lois, you've said love has to be reciprocated.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we have so many cases where love need one party. Mtu anakupenda, but you're not feeling. Have you ever heard of that cycle where the person you love doesn't love you, and the cycle continues on and on? So how then can we define, like, when you're interested in someone, maybe a guy is interested in pursuing you, and you don't know yet, you're not aware yet that they have affection, they have some emotion, they have some interest in you. Is that defined as love, or what can we term that as?
I don't think so, because any other person can treat me the way he's treating me. So I just go head on and ask, what's this that we have? Who are we? Because that is the biggest question that you're not ready to ask by the end of the day. You're there assuming, you're there in an imaginationship, thinking it's leading to somewhere, only for that guy to tell you, yo, I was not dating you. Or, I didn't request you to be my girlfriend, so why did you just conclude that I was dating you? And you're there frustrated, only because you didn't ask the right questions, and you were just flowing with whatever was there. Maybe you, in whatever thing it is, because the guy has money, he grooms nicely and all those things, but they don't add up by the end of the day. Yeah.
So there has to be a conversation.
Yeah, there has to be a conversation, and a very clear conversation. Like,
Yeah.
who are we?
Who are we?
Yeah.
And you see, the way you said, so many people dread that conversation. They try to avoid it.
I
And they're just
know.
like, too vague to
Yeah, just because he's
but
nice, he treats
yeah.
me, he picks me
See,
up, he calls
kind,
me.
and most likely he's kind to 10 other people.
I know.
And you know, because there are people who genuinely, there are people who
Yeah.
are nice. They're compassionate. There are people who are gentlemen or ladies. And honestly, sometimes that are for the men, someone can be friendly. And you just assume this one wants me. This
Yeah,
one is in
this
love
one is
with
after me.
You know?
Yeah.
So, Fabio, how do you, when you're pursuing someone, how do you make it clear? Do you just go and, the way Lois is saying, do you go and have that conversation? You like, I like you, I want to take you out? Or how do you approach that?
I think in my case, I'd basically, okay, after a few tries here and there and hints here and there, if she's not seeing the hint or she's blind enough not to see them, I think that's where I involve the talking stage, where I come and tell you, hey, you know what, I think this can work. What do you think about this? Or I might even be clever enough to involve an analogy and see how you're thinking is.
But this hints, let's go back. I know Lois is, you know, because people talk about, I'm dropping hints. But then the hint can be, I'm interested in you and I'm going to snob you because I don't want to seem like I'm too thirsty. And that to me, I expect you to read my mind.
Okay.
Or maybe, as Lois is saying, you come in and you're being nice, you're sweet, you take care of everything. And in my mind, I'm like, no, he's just a very nice guy. So what are these hints? Lois, do you think, easy hints, do you think you can really read them? Or should people just have the conversation as opposed to assuming that you can get what I'm saying?
I think now life is too busy to just read in between what someone wants with me. I mean, just be straightforward with me. Like, I'm interested in you because one thing I know, as much as someone would love to be with me, they cannot marry me tomorrow. We'll always have time to know each other. But that idea of me just guessing someone is interested, I mean, so many guys are hitting my DM, so many guys are telling me I'm beautiful, so many guys are sending me that money and flowers and all those things. I mean, what's the difference between you and the other men?
That's true. Because, Fabio, do you agree with that? Because people talk about standing out. As Lois has said, in the case of many people who are pursuing ladies or even gentlemen, if it's someone who's very put together and someone who's desirable, people want them, then they have so many other pursuers. Don't you think dropping hints does not make it clear that I want you Nani Wewe too?
I think there's the aspect of time. Like, there's that hint, you give someone your time. And then you don't, like, as in, don't show it like that, that way. At first, you'll have to start as friends, right? Or somewhere, you have to build a baseline for your relationship, right? So I think you'll start, okay, when you see you've outgrown each other, or maybe you're in that stage where you want to say something, that's why you drop the first hint. When you drop the first hint, if it's not that clear, that's when I come out. I tell you, hey, what do you think about this? Then maybe she might say, no, maybe let's postpone it, or maybe drop the question. That's when you know that that's a very wrong question you've asked. So you're like, so I'll drop the second hint. After the second hint, nione, haijaingiana, na kam nakwambia outright. Sasa hapo.
So, nani kuulize?
Yeah.
Tentatively.
Yeah.
Umedrop hizi ni hints tatu umedrop, sindio?
Yeah,
sindio,
How long does it take to drop all of these hints? Is it within a month? Is it a few weeks? Is it a few days? How long does it take?
And what makes you feel you're the only person who has dropped the hint alone?
Ni sawa.
I'm getting that. Like,
Ni
no,
sawa. Tutafika hapo. Haya. So mimi nitasema, for your question, like, as in our relationship, how do I say it first of all myself? Like you can't tell me you just met a girl 2 weeks ago and then you're dropping hints everywhere. You have to know this person first, because you might be dropping hints on the ocean and then they go. Yeah. So you try as much as possible to learn this person first. Then from there is when you start the hint game.
So it's your friends. Basically, from what you're describing, you have to have an initial friendship or some familiarity before you get to the dropping of the hints.
Yes.
Now, I always wonder, because we hear about love at first sight. Lois, do you think love at first sight exists? Because Fabio has just told us you can't start immediately. You need to get to know this person. But we always hear, I just met them and I knew. Or after the first conversation, I knew this was the person. Do you think that concept truly exists in today's world?
I believe it exists, but only when given time. It cannot be that random. Like, I met this guy and there was a click that he's the one. I mean, why didn't they go to the parents the next day? They took time. And in between, they're like, later I realized we are not compatible. I don't know. Then I'm like, you didn't have to tell us it was love at first sight because you had not taken enough time to know this person.
Yeah. So time is very important.
Yeah, time
based
is
on
very-
what both of you are saying, you have to get to know the person that you're getting into a situation with. So then, would you say that people who jump into relationships immediately because of, let's talk about, first when we pull back, kwa kukatiana, let me cover that first. Someone is trying to drop, the way you're saying dropping hints. People do that very differently. Lois has given an example, there are so many other suitors. So what if you're too late? What if umekuwa na drop hints for, maybe you've known this person for 3 months, you've been dropping hints for 1 month, and then that's when you want to ask. But there was someone who came in 6 months earlier. We are sharing a relationship. By the time you get to the conversation of what are we, ako like, I'm preoccupied, I'm dating someone. What do you think about that, Fabio?
I think in my case as a man, you should never stop trying. Like, okay, ishagonga mwamba. Utafanyaje? So you just let it go. Haya. Leave this lady, go to the other one. There are lots. There is a variety for you to choose. So don't stick there, consoling yourself, she'll come back or she'll come back. And then you leave yourself in some pit hole or some aura that's not supposed to be yours. Like, as in, try to move on. As in, accept the fact. We start with acceptance. After she's told you she's moved on, it's okay. It's okay, there are other people, let's move on. But we can still be friends. That's all. Yeah.
Now you kwa friends ni like you're leaving the door open. Like just in case mwachane. Niko hapa.
Okay, so...
You know what happened?
Yeah.
Okay, see ati unacha hiyo door open ati unaiacha hivyo. Like, you're just showing her, you're not drifting away. But you're there to support as a friend.
Okay.
Tuko pamoja.
Kuna maswali zenye mimi niko nazo. Because hapo kidogo tuko pamoja but atuko. Uko paragraph 1, mimi niko paragraph 2. But now as we are talking about that, because you've said hakuna haja ya kuforce issues. Because now is simping, Lois, would you say simping is considered as forcing issues? Because when you keep trying and you're doing the most and trying to put yourself out there, to some people that is considered simping. Do you think simping is the same as forcing issues?
Definitely. Yeah.
Without a question. And what is, you know, now I still ask a question that you didn't give me clarity on. What makes you stand out? Because you're dropping hints. You know, we've talked about what gestures make you stand out. Because if we say you're talking to her, you're gauging her mind and you're trying to figure out what is your opinion. Kidogo kidogo mtu amemtumia bouquet ya 100 flowers. Amemnunulia dina hiyo siku. Kesho yake amemlipia Uber paka job. What are you doing to stand out other than just, you know, just talking? Or do you consider those romantic gestures simping?
To some extent, where you don't get the feedback. Like, when you don't get, like, the same the reciprocation of the same energy. Like, even if it's not the bouquet of flowers you'll gift me as a man, okay, I'm not saying men do gift flowers, but as in, you show me that love at least. Like, if it's the flowers, like, hey, okay, I received the flowers, thank you, you know, such kind of gestures. And then what is the other question? Please repeat the other question.
So the other thing is, what are you doing, you by yourself? Because you're in competition with 5 other people. All these other people are doing the most. Other than asking, because you've given us the hint, is probably you'll try and gauge her mind and see, what do you think about certain matters? What do you think about this? But what else would you do that would make you stand out, to make someone know I'm interested in you?
I think think time. The time you spend with her.
Yeah.
You see, when you learn how, sometimes spending time with your lady or your girlfriend or your supposedly woman, you tend to engage her together. That time you're spending together, you're coming into communion or koinonia. Let me say it like that, so that you build that relationship on a stable base. That's one.
Yeah.
Then these are things apart from the bouquet, the Uber, and what have you. Uber trip huisha, bouquet ziwaza.
But friendship is
But
for life.
friendship is for life. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
But now when we go back to the aspect of time, because I believe that, there's so many different love languages that people have. There are people who time spent together makes them feel appreciated. Sometimes it's the gifting, sometimes it's the kind gestures, and those things that make you feel like this person acknowledges me from how I want to be acknowledged. But when we look at the timeline, because time is important, as we've said, you've all agreed that it is. But when you look at the biological clock, women tend to say that, sina time. I don't have time to date for 5 years, I'ma get to know you. And you see, that's not even dating. You've not even gotten to ask her, will you be my girlfriend? Ini kujuana, mnakatiana. Lois, how long do you think the kukatiana process should be?
I don't think it should be long, because from my own perspective, I am born again, so I'm going to pray about it. And if I'm not going to feel a conviction about it, I'll not waste your time, because there could be 10 men, and I'm going to pray about them and tell God to give me discernment on how I'm going to flow with them. And if I'm going to feel some weird things between me and you, I'm going to stop the whole thing, and I'll just let you know. It was nice having you, but this one cannot proceed from where it is.
Yeah.
Again, the next question was?
It was just basically, how long do you think it should last, the whole process of getting to know someone before you get into a relationship?
I don't think it should take long if both of you are authentic, like both of you have the same goal. But it can be very difficult when you're dating someone who has different intentions from you. Maybe someone is having me because niko kwa light.
Yeah.
But the question is, minus the light, minus me being on social media, you cannot date the person I am. Then why do we have to date? At times we think dating someone should take so much time to know them. But you can read small things they do each and every day. You cannot be having someone who you intend to date some few days to come, and maybe they keep poking their fingers on spaces you don't want them to go. Like, there are so many things you can read in between the lines, because back in your mind, you have a list of things you want in a man, and you're going to eliminate those men one by one. But at times you're there, we are comfortable, they're nice and all those things, and we still want to convert those red flags into white flags because you think, I can change this man, he's going to be good and all that. But by the end of the day, you lose the game, because you had a list, you knew what you wanted, there were men, but you're like, but he's nice, but we compromise a lot.
That's true.
Yes.
I like the advice you've given. First of all, you've talked about praying and asking for divine intervention and guidance, which is very important, because most people want to make decisions that are this important, because relationships, union, is a serious matter.
Yeah.
You're coming together, you're two individuals, and you're merging in so many different ways, emotionally, physically, mentally. So you need to have some divine guidance for you to know if the person you're with is the right person. And most times, unfortunately, the person we want is usually the wrong type. Especially when you're younger and you're newly dating and things like that. Most times we focus on the wrong aspects as opposed to looking at the long-term benefits or the long-term goals that you have. So you've also given us a very good advice of making a list. Making a list of who exactly you want and what you want from the relationship, because so many people date blindly as well. They get into a relationship for the vibes, because my friends are dating, or I want to be on social media and post up this guy and show everything that they've gotten me. But you're not learning, and that's one thing that people need to know. You need to learn from every relationship that you're in. You learn about the person that you want and who you want to be in a relationship. And going back to the aspect of time, because the way you've said, you shouldn't do it for such a long time. But then some people are fake. As you've said, if you're genuine, it's very easy for you to click and move on quite well.
Yeah.
But sometimes people are fake, especially in this day and time. People can put up a persona. They'll ask you, who's your type? And then the next time they're popping out with that exact same character. Fabio, have you experienced that while you're trying to date, and how do you deal with things like that?
Yes, I have experienced the untrue, I call it the untrue person or the untrue man. So in this case, like, you want to know more about this person, but you'll notice in one way or another, either she's hiding something or she's trying to be, she's not that open with you. So you'll sense a bit of need, a bit of, what is it called? A bit of apartness in how you connect. And nature has a way of separating you guys together and separating real from unreal. I think the aspect of time and nature, I'd let it work for me. Because if I know, like, you've been like this when we are friends, and then now you turn a new leaf or you show me this side of you, and I'm like, okay, I'll have to test it or something. I'll have to do something so that it evokes that true nature of yours. That way, I'll get to know who you are really. And then maybe I'll put some circumstances together so that you try to decipher who this person is. Sometimes, like, you might find, I might speak of a previous relationship I had. Okay, I realized the person was not who she said she was, but I feel like if she had come out open, I'd have forgiven her and told her, it's okay, you go your way, I go my way. But if you stay there for long, you see you're not helping each other and this thing is not working. So you have to find a way out, right? Yeah.
So it's because of the break of the trust that makes you feel like you're put off. If someone is dishonest with you, and that's the getting to know each other phase. So then long term, you definitely can't trust this person.
Yes.
And is that, Lois, because trust is very important to build as a foundation. What else do you think is the value of getting to know each other and getting to really see who this person is? What other things are important to build at that stage aside from love itself?
I think relationships are the easiest spaces you can ever be. But you want to make it fast because you're not in a position to separate emotions and reality. Because when I see people rush into relationships, I'm always asking this question: have you considered the age? Is age a thing to you? Money, your faith, cultural backgrounds, health. I mean, there are so many things you need to talk about in that relationship. True. And you just realize you just need to talk about age and someone is gone. You just have to talk about finance and someone is gone. You just have to talk about commitment and someone is gone, because right away people think marriage is a contract. You give me, I give you. You're not providing, I'm not providing. By the way, I can leave anytime I want. But now that marriage is a commitment and you say for better for us, you have to be there. But we're in a state where I can finance myself so I can walk out of it. And we are not ready to have those deep conversations with people. We want the good looking. You want to be with the lady who is the most beautiful. You want to be with the man who is known in the world. But trendy doesn't sustain a relationship. You just need to go to the root of everything and discuss. Yes.
And will that be considered an aspect of simping? Like when you focus on the wrong aspects? Because I know simping is mostly focused on the things that you're doing and the effort that you're putting in. But also when you're focusing on the wrong person, on the wrong aspects and the wrong characters, and someone has shown you the red flags, and you're delusional, you're like, no, we can sanitize, we can cleanse, we can change this person. Is that considered simping as well?
I feel simping is any state you are in that doesn't allow you to be vulnerable just because you feel you're going to lose something that you really want at the moment. You can be with someone, you know they are toxic, and you're just there, and you're comfortable just because you get the money, you get the gifts, you get whatever things. But by the end of the day, the moment you get the right person for yourself, you'll just walk out.
Yeah.
And that is a state where people are left wondering, wait, the flowers are not enough, the gifts are not enough, I don't know, the vacations are not enough. Dude, I wanted the money, not you. And the man was not ready to talk about who are we.
Yeah.
Like we're just flowing, we are okay.
Because the man has the material to give, so there's no much else that Anna add to the whole relationship. It's just the material and the focus on that. Hey, so it's like saying simping is just being a pick me. It's you wanting to be chosen and wanting to be selected, but knowing that probably mtu hakutaki.
Yeah, with a goal, with a very malicious goal. Because I feel, even for ladies too, they simp a lot. There's this guy, you know, maybe you're just friends, you're just friends, and he has shown signs of living nicely and all that. Do you remember those times when I've had those stories on social media where ladies used to carry pants in campus and go cook chapos?
I came across a thread like that.
Cleaning
Amebeba pan
curtains.
kwa bag kwenda kupika sijui chapo ndio the next girl akuja kule. So yeah, that's a very clear difference. Oh my god. Yo. Cuz and as you said, so it changes with maturity. Fabio, do you think it's the same for guys? With maturity, does it come with learning how to maybe invest in the things that add value as opposed to just investing in a dead plant?
I think in my case, I think I'd like to know your intentions first with me.
Yeah.
Let's be real with each other. Let's keep all our options on the table. Let's discuss as adults, not you don't come here and start saying I did this and this.
Yeah.
And then in the end it stands the finger points at you. You're pointing one at me and the four are pointing back at you. Yeah. So like let's try to resonate with each other.
Yeah.
Let's sit down. If like you're there for the finances, I'll be like, oh, okay, Isao. Then slowly drift away.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, because that's not what I wanted. I wanted maybe someone, a homemaker or someone who's a partner, not someone, not a financial spendthrift, if I may say it. Like, as in, like sometimes even us men, we work hard for the things we have. Like, you don't expect, like Rome wasn't built within a day. You don't expect a man with a fully furnished house to come and say, in 2 days' time, I'm coming to marry you. I'm coming to get you, and let's go and plan a marriage.
Yeah.
You have to see who is this person. Like even us men, we resonate. Sometimes we have that big boy talk with ourselves, and we try to resonate with each other. Let's try to be real. Like in my friend group, I know, like...
Wait, let me hold it there, because then we're going to, I'll come to the aspect of the external factors, the people that we engage with who help us in these relationships. So let's take a very short break, and then we will come back and figure out what are some things that are considered simping. How can you tell you're forcing issues, and how do you get to love as opposed to just simping, as well as all these other factors, the people who add value and the things that you need to do to ensure that you're building a stable relationship. Let's take a very short break, but stay tuned to Y254 TV. I am Cheryl Blessing, and this is The Power Talk Show.